Good evening YouTube, this is 7 Lives Gaming coming to you, gaming from every angle, and this evening I'm going to do a Sega Master System II review. Before I actually get onto the console itself, I'll give you a brief history lesson. Master System II, no sorry not the Master System II, the Sega Master System was a third generation console, and it was released and manufactured by Sega. It was released in 1985 in Japan, 1986 in North America, and 1987 in Europe. It was released to compete with the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Obviously this is superior technically, it's got better graphics and stuff like that. It cost around $200 to $250 when it was first released. That was quite a lot of money in them days. It plays cartridges, obviously lift this up, put them in there. Obviously the original Master System didn't have this flip top, this is just unique to this Sega Master System II. On the original you just push the games down into the top, and also it played Sega, what were they called, Sega game cards I think they were, yeah it was Sega game cards, which just slot into the front of the console of the original Sega Master System. And they were about that big, about that long, about that thin, just slot in the front. They had a built-in game in each console, in the original Master System and Master System II. Usually Sonic the Hedgehog, Alex the Kid in Miracle World, or Golden Axe. This is Sonic the Hedgehog built in. And you could also get a secret built-in game on the original Master System called Snail Maze, I think it was, which was just like a puzzle game where you have to get around the course in a time limit, and you can play that by turning your Master System on with no game and pressing up 1 and 2 on the controller simultaneously. So that's a pretty cool feature I thought. So I will take you to the actual review itself now. Obviously this is the Master System II console. So obviously flip this up and put the games in there as I said. And this Master System II doesn't have the game card slot, so you can't play Sega game cards on it. And it doesn't have a reset button like the original, it just got a pause button. Obviously they did this because this was easier to make, so manufacturing cost was easier by leaving those things out. And this Sega Master System II was released in 1990 due to the success of the Genesis in North America. They actually sold the rights to Tonka, the toy company, but they re-brought the rights to the Master System and re-released this, obviously as I said, due to the success of the Genesis. I think it was just a bit of a cash-in actually, to be fair, but yeah, this is a much smaller, more compact console than the original. Obviously it's just got a pause button, the on and off switch, got 2 controller ports, 1, 2, obviously in those days it didn't have 4 controllers. On the back we have a RF out and AC adapter, RF out being the TV and AC adapter being the power. This is a Sega Power Base PAL 1, it's obviously one of the PAL systems. Oh, and also I forgot to say, on the original Master System there was also a few games that you could use the Sega Scope 3D glasses with. Obviously you had to put something in the card slot to use that, so obviously you can't use it on this system because that doesn't have it, as I said before. Yep, so this console is built-in Sonic the Hedgehog, as I said, and this is rarer to find than the Alex the Kid one. Usually Master System 2's had Alex the Kid built in, so the one with Sonic the Hedgehog built in is a bit harder to find, so luckily for me I got this one. So that's a nice little feature. Obviously the controllers, I've got 2 controllers. It's just a simple up, down, left, right D-pad, 1 and 2 buttons, and that was it. Pretty simple back in them days, just kept it simple. It's a bit bricky, it's not like controllers these days that fit to your hand, but you know, you can get used to it. It's a nice little pad, just usually, you know, an attack and jump button, that's all we really needed on those games back in them days. I've got a light phaser, which is a gun. So if they brought out about 13 games where you could use the light phaser. I've got one of them, I'll be showing you that in a minute. It's just you point it at the TV and shoot. Obviously I've come across a few light phases before in my time, but I've never actually found one that works. But my one actually worked perfectly fine, so I was pretty lucky to get one that works. We've got the TV out cable, obviously RF switch, so antenna, RF and TV, just switch between the two, easy as that, and you plug it into the back of the console, so it's an aerial lead. And the mains adapter, it's just the RF mains adapter, AC mains adapter, sorry, not RF. It's a bit brickish, you know, retro, can't go wrong. And I'll bring you to my games collection now. I've got the Ninja, Sonic the Hedgehog, great game, but I've got it built in to here, so obviously I don't really need to use this. And World Soccer. They're just 3 games that I've got with no boxes or manuals. Well, I'll show you the ones I've got complete with manuals and boxes. Teddy Boy, which was a platformer similar to Rainbow Island, I think. Not really played that one much, don't really know much about it. The Jungle Book, obviously game of the movie. Disney released a lot of games on the Genesis and the Master System. This is quite a good game made by Virgin. Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. This was one of my all-time Genesis and Master System games. It was a really popular one. I used to play it loads when I was a kid. I was really lucky to get hold of it again. Obviously on these old games, on the back of the box, it says round 6, which tells you how many levels there is in the game. So I don't really know why they did that, to be fair, but yeah, they do. This is a really good game. If you ever get the chance to play it, do so. Tell me what you think. Just download an emulator on the PC and download the ROM. It's really good. Download Fusion, that's a good PC emulator. Wimbledon, not played this one. I'm not a fan of tennis really, but again, a classic. We've got Tom and Jerry the movie. This was a cool game as well back in the day. You have to chase Jerry the mouse through the different levels. It was really fun to play. The Lion King, again another Disney title. This was one of the most popular games on Master System, I think. It was a good game as well. Really good game. Obviously 10 levels on that one. It's a longer game. We've got Transbot. This was one of my favourite games also. I used to play this a lot when I was a kid. It's an R-type game, just side-scrolling shooter in a spaceship. We've got World Cup Italia 90, classic football game, or soccer if you're American. Operation Wolf. This was one of the games that you had to use the light phaser gun on. Obviously it says there and, or you can use the controller, but it's much better with the gun. There's loads more games, 12 more games I think, where you use the gun, but I ain't got any more. But just Google them if you want to know any more about it. It's a good game. Got Black Belt. This was a kung fu game. A bit like Streets of Rage, but nowhere near as good as that. The Lucky Dime Caper, starring Donald Duck. This was again another good game, which I played quite a bit. Obviously Disney again. That's a good game. And last but definitely not least, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This was different to the Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This was a lot harder and a better game in my opinion. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Genesis is obviously an all-time classic, but this one, I don't think many people have played this one, unless you actually had a Master System when you was a kid, because obviously everybody goes for the Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog, but do try this one because it's a lot more challenging. It's a much better game, I think, in my opinion. Obviously I'll show you what the inside looks like. It's a lot different to what it looks like nowadays. Obviously got the manual, which is just, you know, very thin, poorly made paper. Obviously it's quite a few years old now, so, but back in the day there weren't many pictures or, you know, index like there is on it in Xbox and PS3 games these days. It's just pretty much loads of text. It's not actually a thick manual, it's just you probably get 1 or 2 pages that's actually in the language you speak, and the rest was in different languages. Not many pictures, just text, text, text. Obviously there's a few pictures on each page, but very small, black and white obviously. Just pretty much text all the way through. And obviously inside was the cartridge. So it's pretty different to what it is nowadays. I think cartridges were more simple than this though, because they hardly ever went wrong. See, they made a load of iconic games for the Master System and Genesis, or Mega Drive as you want to call it. It was a really, really good system. Oh, and another thing before I forget, obviously on these controllers you didn't have a pause button. It was on the console, so you had to, if you wanted to pause the game, if you needed the toilet or something, you just had to get somebody else to pause it for you, or jump up quickly out of your seat and pause it and make sure you didn't get killed. The pause button first came in on the Genesis controller, I think it was. They didn't have it on these. Yep, so this was just a review on the Sega Master System II. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe, comment and rate. If you've got any questions, just drop me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Check out my other videos, there'll be more to come. This was 7 Lives Gaming. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much and have a nice evening.